Hi, welcome to Jessica. I'm your host, Jessica Rector. What would you do? You're out hiking, a homeless man approaches you, and somehow, in some way, he tries to rape you. What would you do in that instance? That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the possibility of rape, how you overcome it, and how you fight back. Please welcome my guest, Christina Linhart, and share with us your story and what exactly happened to you.
Well, I was in Topanga State Park, so it was broad daylight. It was a Saturday afternoon, Pacific Palisades, so you think that it's, you know, pretty safe neighborhood. And I was hiking, and I veered from the main path, and I was going through the wilderness, and actually I came across sort of these twigs tied together. It was very strange, and somehow my intuition said, don't go past this point.
Right.
But I did. And it was really weird because I had a gut feeling don't. And so I hike up the trail a little farther, and up sort of above, I see a man, a homeless man. He looks homeless. And he's standing there, and he waves to me. And he doesn't look quite right. He's really big. He's like maybe 6'4", 6'5". Mm-hmm. His eyes are a little bit bulging. He's pretty dirty, so he's obviously homeless. And but you know, I've known a lot of homeless people, and I find them, you know, I mean, I've been good friends with a lot of homeless people, so you know, I've never had a problem before. And so I thought, well, you know, I'll say hi to him, and you know, so we introduced ourselves. You know, I said, I'm Christina. He said, I'm Bill. And so I kept hiking, hoping to get away from him, because I didn't really want to hike with him, and I wasn't real certain about him. I wasn't real comfortable, and he kept following me. And so I kept thinking, if I continue to hike, I'll come to the end of the trail, because the way Topanga works is that it, you know, there's an end and a beginning, so you get to civilization. And so he kept following me, and so we stopped at a rock, and I said, well, you know, I want to meditate, I want to be alone. And, you know, we talked a little bit, and he's like, oh, okay. And so he walks away, and then he comes back, and he's carrying a trowel, which is one of those things for the fireplace, heavy sort of wooden trowel, not wooden, metal trowel. And that made me kind of uptight, that he was carrying this trowel.
I can imagine, And now he has a weapon.
Yeah, exactly. And even though, you know, I still thought everything's going to be okay, because when I was a kid, I spent a lot of times hanging out with homeless people, and they were always real good to me. And I had just come back from Africa. I had hitchhiked all through Africa, and nothing had happened to me. This was Pacific Palisades.
So you're very independent,
Right. So I didn't think anything could happen, but I was feeling a little nervous. And he said, well, there's a campsite up the trail. And I thought, let's go there, because there'll be people there.
Exactly.
Right. So I followed him up, and we get to the campsite, but it's like this clearing that is just a makeshift campsite. It's like just a sleeping bag. It's obviously just somebody's. It's not a campsite.
A campsite, what we think of the term campsite.
With picnic tables and porta potties and all that.
And everybody there.
There's nobody there. And I keep thinking, well, maybe this belongs to some nice hippie with a dog who's going to come back really soon.
Exactly.
And he says, Christine, come over here. There's a sleeping bag. Let's roll this up. And immediately it feels really weird. I'm like, no, I don't want to mess with somebody else's stuff. And at that point I didn't know what to do. Where do I go? Because this isn't the campsite I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And if I start running, that's going to look weird. So then we started hearing police helicopters overhead, and he looked up. And then after the police helicopters passed, he said, well, you know, I was hoping, and then he just threw me down. So he threw me down on the ground, and, you know, I started screaming.
Right.
And he immediately had me pinned. So he had my arms pinned up above my head, and he started beating me, started punching me in the face. And so I tried to get him off me, of course. You know, I was screaming, and so we were struggling. And so I don't remember clearly those first few minutes when we were struggling, what exactly happened.
Right.
But I remember he was sitting on top of me, and he was huge, so he was sitting on top of me, and he had me pinned, and his hands were large enough that he could easily hold my wrists together and have one hand that's free. So he was punching and punching. He pulled out of his, I don't know, pocket or wherever, he had some ropes. He was trying to tie me up, but I wouldn't let him get my hands together close enough to.
Well, that's smart, right?
Yeah, because I thought once I'm tied up, it's over. It's over. And he also took out a leather glove and was punching me with the leather glove. I guess to make his his punches easier for him.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I kept hitting in the face. The amazing thing was that I didn't feel it at all. I did not feel the punches.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I mean, in retrospect, I thought it must have been a complete either shock factor or just defense mechanism.
Right.
But I mean, and I remember, because the struggle went on for quite a while, that then I started having thoughts, and I thought, I can't believe I'm not feeling this. Right. I'm like, why am I not feeling these punches? And so he was punching me, and so my face started to swell up, like one whole cheek swelled up, so I couldn't see out of one eye. And somehow I must have gotten away from him a little bit, because then I remember being turned around. So I think I tried to get out, and then he was on top of me again. And so I kept screaming, and he said, if you scream again, I'm going to hit you with this. And he picked up the trowel. And I said, okay, I won't scream. And then I started screaming. And then he started banging me over the head with the trowel. And again, I didn't pass out.
I was going to say, and you were conscious
I was
this whole
conscious
time?
through all this. It's really weird, because afterwards, there were a lot of lumps. Well, lumps, a lump here, a lump here. I had lumps. But I didn't feel it. It was just like bang, bang. It was really...
You became numb or something.
Yeah, completely numb. Completely numb. And so, the struggle was happening for a while, because I was not going to let him tie me up. And so then I tried different tactics. I tried talking to him. Like I said, okay, Bill, because they say if you make a personal contact with somebody and you use their name, then maybe you can get through to them.
Right.
But no, in this circumstance, no. I'm like, Bill, you don't want to do this. I tried reasoning. That didn't work. I tried screaming. That didn't work. I tried threatening. Oh yeah, that certainly didn't work. And so this was going on for a while, and then again I got him off of me, and I ran a few feet. And then he was back on top of me, because I remember this was a different sort of, it was just different. And so then I tried like really fighting. And so I got a free hand, and I tried going for the eyes, and that really made him angry. And but it didn't do any good. So then he said to me, just give me a little bit of pussy and I'll let you go. And that was like, I was thinking, I will not let that happen. I'd rather die than let that happen. And then that's when I really started thinking, I can't believe this is happening to me. I cannot believe that I'm here. These are the things you see on cheesy...
You see on a movie.
Exactly, like a movie of the week. Exactly what you see on the movie.
Not in my life.
Right, exactly, not in my life. And because I always had such good luck. I traveled all through Africa and never had any troubles, traveled all over the world by myself, never had any problems.
Exactly. And this is happening in your own backyard now, too.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Exactly, totally. And so I really thought, how can this be happening? And then I was like, I remember then in my head, like praying, like, God, please, anything, just get me out of here. And I thought, and I couldn't really see a way of getting out of here either. But all the while, I felt some sort of presence around me. Just like when I felt like I shouldn't go beyond those twigs, it was almost like I heard an audible, no, don't go. And so I felt like this presence around me, higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it, guardian angels, whatever you want to call it. And so I thought, there's no way he's going to rape me. So he's going to have to kill me first. Because I thought, because I have a firm belief in reincarnation, I thought, I don't want to go out like this and come back with that. There's just no way. And so, and it was also ironic because the day before I had started my first self-defense class for women. And I thought, oh my God, next week they're going to show up at class, they're going to be like, where's that girl? And the police report's going to come in that she ended up dead, attacked,
Yeah.
And I thought,
that's ironic.
Yeah, that's too ironic. So then I don't know why, but I thought, okay, I'll just pretend like I'm going to let him rape me. So he started licking my face, and I don't know why or what, but I opened my mouth, I let his tongue in, and then I bit his tongue. So I basically bit his tongue off, and then he jumped up and went like this. And I thought, oh no, now he's really going to beat me.